secret, obviously, that Barcelona need money and need to free up spaces. Hence, Frenkie de Jong is someone that we've talked a lot about over the last few weeks in his future, Sid. What's the latest?
Well, look, it's difficult to give you a proper answer for the simple reason that Barcelona say publicly one thing and say privately another. And we've seen, of course, Laporta saying, I'm not in a position to be forced to sell him. I'm going to do everything I can to keep him. But, of course, privately, they know that he is their best way of trying to balance the budget in terms of the financial fair play in La Liga, the salary limits. And because there's a couple of reasons for that. One, of course, is the size of the potential transfer fee for him, which is bigger than it would be for anyone else. And we're talking about the potential for an €85 million deal with Manchester United. And the other is the cost of keeping Frenkie de Jong next season, which is in the region of €40 million to keep him just for next season in terms of that cost. So he's a player that you really want to move on. If you do not move him on, then, of course, you're in a position where you have to find alternatives. Now, it's not impossible that Barcelona find alternatives, but it's incredibly difficult to do so. Now, a lot of the talk at the moment is, well, how are they going to register these players? Of course, at the moment they can't, but there's a long way to go, and there's a lot of manoeuvring still to be done. But this deal is key. So the latest is essentially that Barcelona are in a position where they're trying to say to Frenkie de Jong, we really need you to go. And you need to go. But, of course, Frenkie de Jong is entirely entitled to say, I don't want to. He doesn't want to. So what's the alternative? The alternative is some sort of agreement over salary, which his camp say hasn't been asked of them yet, to make a huge reduction in the salary. But even that, of course, only goes some of the way. So Barcelona's ideal scenario is still that he goes. Now, there are two different things here, I think, that are worth pointing out from Frenkie de Jong's point of view. Number one, there is the basic question of, do you want to leave Barcelona? No, not really. Number two, in the event of having to leave Barcelona, or in the end kind of accepting this pressure, because he doesn't need to, but in the event of accepting this pressure, where would you go? And would it be Manchester United? No, probably not. This is a club that's not playing in the Champions League. And so at the moment, you're in a position where maybe you think between now and the end of August, which is still a very long time, what is it, 5.5, 6 weeks, there's still time to try and seek out other solutions. But right now, the position that Barcelona hoped they got themselves in, which was an agreement with Manchester United and some way in which Frenkie de Jong ends up accepting it, has not happened. The agreement with United is there, but you've got a player who doesn't necessarily want to go and certainly doesn't want to go just yet.
Luis, if you were Frenkie de Jong, what would you do?
It's difficult. I want to be where they want me. I want to be where I know that I have the people give me the value that I think that I have. I think he's a very important player. And even though that Xavi is mentioning that he's been playing, he knows that he's got two players in front, Gavi and Pedri, that probably they're going to have many, many minutes. And you just brought Kessie, that is a player who can play exactly the same way. He's the same the same style of player like Frenkie de Jong, a player who goes down. He's a box-to-ball player who can play as a holding midfielder, but also a player who likes to go forward. So I think the way that I've seen him play in the past couple of years, where he has struggled so much to adapt to this kind of football where you can move all around because you want it, is you have to keep the position, you have to wait for the ball to arrive, and then from there start creating. That's something that he wasn't expecting to do that, because at Ajax before, he had the freedom to go wherever he wanted, stay at the back or get the ball and start passing lines and going through lines with the ball because he's got that power. But he has to adapt so well to the system of Barcelona, to the way the Barcelona play. And at the moment, if he doesn't feel well, comfortable, the way that I've seen play in the past few months, you see that he's not happy. And if Man United continue signing players, showing that with Ten Hag, they're going to try to become a strong team, a team that wants to fight for everything, even though they're not going to play in European competition, I think that he might have to say, listen, you know what, I'm going to move forward. But what I heard, what I read is that Barcelona owns him a lot of money, owns him a lot from the past couple of years, and he's not going to be ready to just leave that or pass that and forget it. He's going to wait to see if Barcelona is going to compete with that and see what happens. If you give me that, I might go forward and move to the next and help you, because I know that you want me to move because you got enough players in the middle of the field so I can move to another team. But if I don't feel like that, I'm going to stay and see what happens with me. And then Xavi will have to manage the whole situation, because Gavi, Pedri, Kessie, and also Busquets are going to be the players. You got also Sergi Busquets that is going to be waiting for minutes over there, because he's a player who always can give you always something different. But Frenkie de Jong is going to be one more. I'm not sure if Frenkie de Jong is ready to be one more. I think he wants to be the main man in the middle of the park.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.